he's sitting here, I'm just going to stand here like this.
You don't want me sitting here.
Well, you can sit there, I'm just going to leave it here now. Guys, welcome, thank you so much. I'm just going to give you a bit of background tonight as to the why we're here and also introduce our facilitator tonight. First of all, thank you for making the time tonight. This is for us, this is for you, this is for our referees. So we do have that vision of that mission of serving the game and serving the community. Ultimately, what we do as referee coaches and mentors and developers, imparting our not just our knowledge, but how we interact with our referees is massively important. So any opportunity to upskill and develop ourselves is massive. So of course we do also have quite a bit of a focus around referee coaching as part of our own club's strategic vision plan as well. It is a big part of it. We do really want to invest our time and our resource and our finances into our referee coaches as well. So for tonight, we've been working, myself and Jono, working with Kyle for a little bit to develop and put together how this might be. Kyle is, for those of you who don't know Kyle McLean, Kyle is a nation leader in coach development. So I'm really building you up here, Kyle, so no pressure.
I'll be the judge, eh?
But essentially the work that he's been doing with his thesis is closely tied to essentially what we want to get out of developing you guys. And I'll let Kyle sort of brush over that a little bit more as well. But the why we're here is to get better at ourselves, to understand how we can improve and grow as referee coaches in the same way that our referees, our match officials, our umpires are growing as well in the work that we would do with them. So I'll stop babbling. I'll leave with Kyle. Thank you very much.
Cool, Cam. Thanks, Tim. Claps. Awesome. Great initiative, Jono and Cam. I know when I did work here about a year ago. I finished actually. So probably only be back in the office. Oh, I think I dropped my ute off. That was a sad day. No free diesel.
And bike home.
Bike home. You're exactly right. So I know when I worked here we used to talk about this kind of stuff. Pat was in the role about collaboration in this space. Great initiative. Invest in the coaches who are going to have a massive impact on referees. I'm a referee until 2007, and I was coached by a guy called Brian Fisher over in the Waikato, and he was awesome. He was a great mentor for me. But now I'm doing my own thing and working closely actually with Jan. I'm doing one of my things I'm doing at the moment is working with Netball New Zealand and working.
You can take anyone.
Exactly. Trying to build capacity capability of coach developers, Cam's and Jono's across the country, so there's some real good collaboration happening, and there's going to be some stuff happening with maybe Netball keep moving forward, so awesome. Alright, so tonight, I'll just sort of brief it with a bit of a story. So I've met some of you before at the old end of year prize giving, when Adam and I would come and do the gig, and try and get you out dancing. Just between you and I, it's a bit of a tough night. No referees now. You know, so Kyle, we actually one day you schedule at the same time as it was like a cup match, and Adam goes sit down and say, well, we're about halfway through our second set, and there was no one left. That's normally what happens is we're at a gig and pay a lot of bettings and that. But when we first started getting back on the scene a few years ago, we played down at Mount Brunco and we were jamming away one night. And it's probably, I don't know, fourth or fifth gig back into it, crowd game, drinking, broken glass everywhere. Because it's one thing guaranteed, if you come to one of our gigs, you'll probably end up with a headache the next day for some reason. But anyway, we're just playing along and this guy just comes up to us and he's like, and all I'm going to say is he's probably a music coach, right? And he's like, hey, you really need to like slow down with your reggae beats. You're like, you play reggae beats way too fast. Like you got to bring a bit more soul. And he just walked off. And we're like, and we look at each other and go, who's that fella? no idea who this joker was. And it left us go, what was that about? Like, yeah, whatever, probably right. But I guess the story around how we give feedback and how we grow people is interesting. So we had no relationship with that guy and he just wandered off the distance. So tonight we're going to have a look at how we foster positive relationships with our referees. And then we're going to move to a space at the end of the day where we're going to do some practical stuff, and you've been introduced to the GROW model. We're going to bring that to life, and I'm going to try and make this night as practical as possible, hence no tables and stuff. We're going to be moving around a bit. Alright, so that's where we're heading. About halfway through we're going to have a stop for dinner, and that's always a good sign to build some connections. So the first thing we're going to do is up on your feet, and what we're going to do is you're going to go find someone and have a chat to. First thing you're going to talk about is, why do we have referee coaches? So have a chat with a partner. Why do we have, we've got 30 seconds to talk about it. Why do we have referee coaches?
Why do we
Ten seconds. Okay. Alright, we're going to keep it moving. Just throw a couple of ideas to Cam. Why do we have them? What do we have referee coaches?
Upskill the referee.
Cool. What else?
Be that listening person, someone that they can chat
Cool.
to in a
Awesome.
trusting environment.
Cool.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah, get consistency through the
Cool. Go find someone else, build on what you just talked about. Why do we have referee coaches? See if there's anything that resonates. One more conversation with someone different, please. Find a different partner.
Want to have a chat?
Yes.
Pleased to meet you. I'm with you. Yes. So we have different coaches too. So I agree that it's to upskill. So to allow the umpire to actually self-reflect and discuss what they're working on. And as a coach, I can plant some seeds, some questions to help them grow. So is that sort of thing? Oh, absolutely. I think it needs to be a relationship, doesn't it?
into the fold and okay, so
It's not just about their skills on the rugby field, it's about their person too. It's about their resilience. Yeah, very hard sometimes. You have to go, some people always call it a roller coaster ride.
referees coming into the fold.
So that's how you get to know somebody and find out what wavelength they are the same with. I've changed my coaching style over the years. I've been around for years. So we used to tell.
Okay. Just capture some of those ideas. So we're honing into why we have referee coaches, why we give this time and effort. Anything you want to add to what's up there?
Enjoyment for the kids.
I'll see.
A good relationship between the referee and the coaches. Because I was thinking about if you get a nice level referee across the bay, kids enjoy the rugby, coaches have a good relationship with the referees, and potentially we might be able to attract a lot more
That's awesome.
kids and ex-players to become a referee.
Well, that's great. So you think end user being players, kids and stuff. Cool.
And also coaches who know you personally, not just you on the field.
Yeah.
Understand you.
Trust you.
Also, going back to that one at ED where it's all about their game setup, getting there, showing a positive face towards coaches, towards players, getting to know them.
Yeah. So your role as referee coach is to be foster the referee to be able to manage the game well, manage people well, and blah blah blah. Yeah.
It's an issue.
Another bit in there.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Encouragement.
Yeah.
Someone's got to back that.
Bloody tough. Get that old referee.
Yeah, especially if you come from a rugby team
Yeah.
environment, suddenly you're there all by yourself. So
Yeah.
it's encouragement and
Yeah. That's
support.
well, that's just one of the reasons why I gave up actually. assessed, I still got it. Good, okay, next question. Talk to someone different, so you're capturing it. I guess, in a nutshell, yeah, we're trying to foster a really cool space for referees to capture some of that stuff, because end user want the players having a great game, but try and recruit, retain our referees, so we can keep them in the game, and our game thrives. Cool. Next question. Oh, what do you actually do? Okay, have a chat to somebody else. What does a referee coach actually do? Have a chat to somebody else.
Yeah, John. Come on,
rotate one more, but we'll just capture what does the referee coach actually do?
Keep it simple. Not too much overload.
That's a how.
Yeah, not be how. That's right.
Work with the referee to his expectation.
That's cool. Keep talking about it.
You don't want to be going out there with a sort of do this, do that. You've got to work with him also where he wants to be.
Yeah. Right.
Adapt to the level of referee, like not every referee's going to want to be a Super Rugby referee, so adapt to the person in front of them.
So what you do is what do you actually do then around that? So
Communication.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Ask them what they want.
what are they working on?
Yeah.
That's
Great.
where the conversation needs to go.
Awesome.
No matter how much you think there's something else there, you have to hang on.
Just got these 16 things.
No, there might be more.
But some of them want it. Some want.
Yeah.
You got to know what he wants.
Yes.
Does he want 5 or 50? You can make up 50.
It's probably
Gotta be the-
it's the R and grow. What is their reality?
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the things is they just want someone to be with.
Yeah. Good. So you support yourself.
The most important thing of coaching is you've got to be honest.
Yes.
You know, blowing smoke up some referee's backside doesn't make him feel good.
Don't you do that?
So good, doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. And how you go about that and leave the referee feeling good about the experience.
Well, you pick out the positives,
Yeah, cool.
and then you've got to talk about the negatives in a way that we can work together to resolve them.
So you've got your strengths and your growth areas.
Yeah.
Doing it differently.
Yeah, good. Great theories, nice like that.
And understand the expectation.
Yeah.
Does he want to be mitre 10 referee, or does he want to be level 5
just wants to get out of the house for a couple of hours, eh? And oh, sorry, darlings, after match function, I had to stay for an extra couple of hours for that match, and I got an aftermath mission.
Isn't that the coach view to the
Yeah, why you're referee coaching?
We want to stay out of the house.
Yes. Well, what else do we do as referee coaches?
Well, I think that's the difference between the questions you ask. If someone wants to be a Mitre 10, then you're probably getting quite a technical question. Otherwise, you might just be asking him, are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah. So you're asking questions and finding out about them and
Walking them down a pathway.
yes. Tell us more, Pat.
Asking them questions so that they can self-diagnose and understand and hopefully self-prescribe.
For what purpose?
For them to understand.
To grow.
Yeah.
Cool. So helping them grow, helping them get better and having more confidence.
Yes,
Set
confidence.
Because we have to get back to that honesty.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a Mitre 10.
Yeah.
But don't, you know, tell them, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you're not to that standard.
Yeah.
I think it's Bunnings now.
Stop calling them Mitre 10. Funny.
That's interesting. So,
There's the follow-up too, so, you know, you've got to follow up with someone. It's not just a one-off.
yeah.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't hear from them, reach out to them.
And the other most important thing, coaches, is to realise your own limitations.
Yeah.
And sometimes you've got to pass it on
Yes.
to someone, and that's a critical thing for guys to reach their competency level. You've got to go to incompetent and take a step back. And that's the hardest thing in the world to do.
Yeah. Just not incompetent in a lot of spaces that keep it. That's a good point. And then us knowing our little skills, when I first arrived in the white kiddo, I had a referee coach that probably couldn't stretch me enough, and then I jumped to a different guy. He could see. So what is interesting up here, I don't see anything around telling them where to stand, broad interpretations and stuff like that. There's a lot of softer skills involved in this space, eh? Skills that are relational things that we have to, that's awesome. There's lots of, we'll keep going down this track, but you've captured the why and the what, that's great. Just getting you thinking about why we're here and what we do. Last, just show of hands, who saw the ref video or heard it audio? Oh, sweet. Can you just partner up with someone who hasn't seen it?
So it's the homework that we're supposed to do.
It's a video of Jono interviewed a guy from Auckland Day, Remy, and he's got a really neat story around the impact of coaching had on him. So, can you just partner up with someone? If you haven't seen, that's fine. Just go and someone else share what they learned from that and what connected from that video. So go have a chat about that. Just find somewhere, find a space, and have a yarn about it.
There was a young man who had travelled around New Zealand a lot with his refereeing, so he never got any consistency of coaching, and people in an area just sort of waved him aside, didn't really give him due justice, and he wanted a bit more, and then he came to a place where he got a bit more, and he built a relationship with his coach, and he then decided that this is something that he could do. He didn't have much confidence as a referee because of all his travelling around. He didn't have a lot of confidence as a person himself. This one coach that he met somewhere in New Zealand, where he'd stayed a bit longer, this guy started doing some work with as a person. That's what I got out of it. And they both really connected, and he now has grown as a referee and he wants to get on the pathway. So it was just that, you know, some of us connect with people better than others. Some of us prejudge people because he was transient, really.
I guess there's another thing too, is that we have one referee, one coach, can approach you like, everyone comes the same way with everyone, and that flexibility as well.
Last minute, guys, last minute.
Somebody else. She's not getting what she wants to get. Yes, yeah.
Okay, guys.
The level of game she wants to get.
We've got so a pretty powerful story. John shared that in the caption. I thought, I watched it, I thought, yeah, that's spot on. If you haven't seen it, have a little look at it, but I've just overheard people sharing. You can sit down. Yeah, that's right. Greg, sit down. We're going to go, this will be the last little bit of this, we're going to go into group stuff. What, can someone like share what they got out of that? What connected out of that? Remy the ref. Remember Jeff the ref? He's gone. Remy the ref's in. Remy the ref. What connected through his story?
The relatability between himself and Dane.
Yep.
They talked about they had the same feelings about their own refereeing. Yeah. Through that they could just kind of match their stories and then help each other.
What were some of those feelings negated? Do you remember what were some of those things they had in common?
There was a bit of anxiety and stuff.
Fascinating, eh? That guy hadn't even been known to show me his love and care until Dane stepped in and then unpacked it. He was leaving the field to really think about himself every game. And actually, he was facing massive anxiety. It was nothing to do with his positional play and his technical ability, which we can all see. It was something deeper. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. What else did we pick up from that?
Well, it sort of explains what we saw at the sevens when he came down here. Straight away we picked him. He was nervous.
Yeah.
He sort of didn't mix with the guys much. He was withdrawn, so then we had to go and work on him. Yeah. Work with him. As soon as you started approaching him, talking to him, suddenly he came out.
Yeah.
It was incredible. He said, just needed someone to encourage him.
Yeah, awesome.
I actually found this story really inspiring. It's just for a guy who broke his neck playing rugby, he went into coaching and into refereeing, and
Because he hoped he wasn't going to be tackled.
yeah, I'd say he has learning disabilities, maybe, but I'm not sure. But he certainly has anxiety issues, and but he'd be the first guy. I was telling Ian, you needed a referee for a game, he'd put his hand up, no doubt. He'd be the first to put his hand up.
Well, he's been refereeing for about 8 years, and you think, well, why is he stuck at it? But he's got a support there now, and he clearly enjoys it.
Yeah.
He's got quite a battle on his hands.
But he gets involved in sevens, he gets involved in everything. He doesn't stay back. That's what amazes me. You think of how his anxiety is working hard to get over it. But he's got good support to do it.
Yeah, that's the key. And that's the role coaches have, or can have. And he might stay in the game for a bit longer. Who knows? He might be the guy leading referee coaches one day and give him back and administrating the game. Who knows? But he said he's happy with his level. He's making a few incremental changes. But yeah, pretty awesome story. Thanks for sharing, Peter. It was awesome. All right. So it's broader than, as you said, it's broader than positional play and all that stuff. There's been some awesome comments being said around what we actually do. We understand the referee and we try and work out where his level is. We're trying to understand where he's working from. Brilliant. So we're going to keep progressing down that space. We're going to look at these softer skills, and this is what we're going to have a bit of a more focused effort on for the next 20 minutes around what does a supportive relationship look like. Some of that stuff's come out already. You're going to work in like groups of 4, and it's going to be some post-it notes. I'm just going to give you guys a bit of time to just have a think about what it looks like. Then you're going to go into your groups of 4, and you're going to stick your post-it notes and see if there's any themes that come out. Okay, so themes that you will identify, and just have a chat around those themes. So you might say, oh, I won't need you down a path yet. So I'm going to do this. Right, yeah, I'm going to post-it notes underneath the pens here, throw me out. All right, so just give yourself a couple of post-its. If you just take a couple and pass them on, and just think of some things that pop out. Pass them that way. And bring some pens around. What does a supportive relationship look like? Oh, yeah, referee guys. We got our own young pen. This is very different to other coaching workshops. Oh,
You guys got
you guys bring notebooks and stuff? What everything? Rugby smart, never happened like that.
Wine on his finger.
Just keep looking some take a little pen, pass them on.
I offered him it and he said,
Yeah, everyone needs their own. So you got go back. You just got some time just to come up with some ideas, then we'll group now. I've got a step ahead of myself.
Okay, we're doing it individually, are we?
Yeah, do it individually.
Okay.
I've put that in the feedback form, it's a little bit unclear.
I'm just sure put that form over.
Yeah. Good thing is, there's a lot of point anyone on this one, James.
Has that been not looking back?
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. So just take a minute. What does a supportive relationship look like? Same ideas down. You probably got your own experiences where there's some positive ones that you've experienced as a person in your work environment, hopefully in your home life. Maybe as a referee yourself, maybe you as a coach. Okay guys, you get into a group of 4 now. So next step, you come up here, look at that, let's go up next. Get together, put them out on a piece of paper, have a discussion around what we come up with, see if there's any themes, flesh it out a bit, get a bit deeper, get a bit of clarity, and in about 10 minutes time we'll feed back. Anything else?
Yeah, but that's what we covering if things get hard.
Yep.
That's right, the guy, yeah, sheep took it down. Could have to do no, mate. Took the old brand new car.
Real stuff comes later.
Didn't have a pot.
Yeah, underwear, empathy, yes, the same under repression. Is this a tie-in with here under listener? Or listening?
Watch it. Space. You can't be negative or you can't be shy or standoffish. There's nothing you shouldn't put yourself out there. You know, you could put yourself out there.
It's got to be. So that's a poor relationship. Case, it looks like things are, it's just a situation where you go, you're
when it started. What's changed since it started? It's beyond the face to hear. Oh, it's actually
So I wrote down positive why sometimes you don't know the moment where you just give them something there.
That's a question for the 8 months. Yeah, but you got to stay that.
Three.
That sort of starts off
You know you're employed referee really well.
Going along, and you're struggling to get what you want.
What does it look like?
All of a sudden, you go out.
Okay.
It sounds stupid, might be a stupid question, but when you start saying
How did that
that,
feel? And he said, oh, I was why it took me so long.
Yeah, so
even just have a yarn. So what's an example of does look like this, which
think
is
refereeing
getting to know them? What would that be?
and somebody needs to tell them.
Yeah.
Just tell us, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have that.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, we know we recruit.
Like a dictator.
Yep, when it comes to talk about yourself.
You've done nothing.
and then
You missed this, you missed this. Every line out you.
the pathways.
When I used to referee, I used to have this
And stuff like that.
Yeah, negative.
Yeah.
Building the confidence.
So,
You know that
Oh, that's huge. That they will share things with them. That they may not tell others. And if they find out and you share that with someone else, that's end of the relationship. They can give you permission to share.
somebody else
Yeah.
is when they cut you off and seem to work really hard to talk over the phone. I mean, at least you waited for it to finish. Some people don't even wait for you to finish, they just kick straight in. So, what else do you get the referee to?
Oh,
I'll give you that.
right.
Anybody else would have lost it.
Never again. Would never know.
So I'm hearing that
Yeah, yeah.
true old-fashioned coaching,
No,
which is good. I mean, that's good.
the mentor is better than the coach.
So how do you know that
That's what I mean. So that's,
We've definitely moved away from
yeah, yeah, true. Yeah. There are still some very old-fashioned coaches. We just, like, we were at a meeting last night, the person was sitting upstairs on this meeting, and she said, oh, I'm watching the umpire, I'll go out and tell her in a minute what she needs to improve on.
I picked up on that.
This person is still like that. Yeah, I've got all this information, I need to tell them now.
Rugby development officer coming out, right, you should be doing this. Years ago it makes a while, I think I was.
Oh, is it back in the day?
I've come a long way since then.
They look to me.
That's just a good feedback because years before I tried my well, that's good feedback.
Maybe one come a long way.
Yes, that's awesome. That's funny. All right. Hey guys, we'll share back some of those high-level ideas.
So good.
Just getting us thinking about what a supportive relationship looks like. There's some of the stuff that came out earlier, that what you do and why you do it, support our reps. And yeah, so it's a couple of, just go around and share some ideas. Start over Team Pat.
I'll just, one more piece of paper, just trying to get rid of it.
We'll come back to Pat. Middle group over here.
We kind of focus on the relationship side of the support network, having time, communication, building the relationship, making sure that connections work first and foremost. And I thought one that really helped me was covering a need if things get hard. And that could be just simply just getting right to the game or getting right home. And then the referee comes later.
Yeah, cool. That's what it looks like.
Text or I've had a shit week, can I have a talk? So, yeah, call me anytime. You know, just wanted to chat.
Yeah, pretty great.
But that's the relationship we've had, which has been built over 3 years.
And that's what it's about, covering a need. Covering a need, whether it's a communication through the week because you've had a bad day, get into a game, getting home. Oh, I've got no gear this week, can you help me out? You know,
Bloody ground ball beater around.
Boots go home with some people some days, or flags disappear and you've got no flags for the next week, you know? Yeah, just having someone to help cover a need, first and foremost.
What does your comms look like for a match? Do you just wait till the end of the game, or do you have chats to them before and during the week, like you know, observer ref and work alongside ref? How does that look?
Yeah, the refs that have been coached will have some goals. So we'll find out, once they know that we're coming to see them, something like that, they will get in touch with us, let us know what those goals are.
Cool.
And then we might have a brief chat about that before the game. And then after the game, we pretty much don't do much at all. We wait for 24, 48 hours to get back together once they've had time to digest the game, analyse it themselves, and then we'll have a chat.
It's funny on that, I had a conversation with the referee today that's moved out of my panel, and he carried on into it saying, "Pete, how do I get more feedback from my coaches?" I says, "Well, what are you doing?" And he says, "Well, I'm just talking to them after the game." I says, "Are you sending them your grow platform beforehand and touching base?" No. I said, "Look, get into that, get that grow model going. Touch base beforehand, you can get the feedback that your work on, and then hopefully get a critical view and a challenge afterwards." And he had, oh, that's my fault then, isn't it?
Because normally if you get appointed to coach a guy and you haven't heard from him, I'll normally send him the grow model out, the blank one. So fill it in, send it back to me before the game. Some of them do, some of them don't. They put it in writing, give it to you on the day of the game. You think, well, at least you did something, but it's just get them to do it.
So it's a long story short, it's a prerequisite, isn't it?
And it's that relationship you have with the referee. Sometimes you know what he's doing in his job. Is he a truck driver doing X hours and not focused on coming into it? You've got to know all that, so you just got to have that relationship open and honest.
Some can't even open laptops, so
It's pretty clear that when a referee is thinking about their goals, they also have to think real hard about the reality at the same time. Because if they won't get those goals if they can't acknowledge where their reality is at the moment.
Well, that's where coach honesty comes in. And say, mate, we used to ask them begin the season what their goals were the season. And it's up to you to be honest and say, mate, you need to be more realistic because you're not going to be the first 15 referee by the end of the season.
And also when they do give you the goals, they've got to be clear, not waffling or broad, trying to be specific.
But these are things you've got to do.
Just got to train them, so you've got to
You've got to be careful you don't promise them too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you put steps in it, if they're going up here, they're here, if you can put those steps in there, well, if they can't do that first step,
But you've got to be realistic on the time scale.
they'll find out if they can't.
You get 20 games a year, you only get to practice maybe once a week, you've got one game on Saturday. So those steps are very progressive. And it's hard when you think about trying to coach a referee. He's got 20 games, he's in once a week, if you're
Yeah, may as well share it.
So we had probably 3 trends. The empathetic, compassionate listener, the person who develops, creates trust so that you can have honest conversations or bold conversations are easy. And then the open-ended questions during interactions, the questioner, the challenger, who's respectful, happy. That's what it looks like. And then you asked us the other question, what doesn't it look like?
What doesn't it look like? You come with any examples?
So he tells, doesn't listen, talks about how he used to do it, and cuts the ref off.
Let's hear something. Back in my day. Okay, and anything to add over that side? Been covered.
Coaches accepting feedback from their referee.
Oh, yes, so back that way.
For the coach, yeah.
So what does that look like? Sorry?
The coaching asking the referee, what can I do? What do you need anything from me?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, yeah. Is that good? Or
Yeah, I'm happy today.
them being a little bit more honest and open with themselves to allow us being the referee, to understand them better. Feel a little bit more even.
Part of the keys is having video footage too.
Yeah.
Not just what you say. Go clear, not easy.
Yep. Always outside. All good. Okay, team. So I just like to think about that. The ideas that you come up with will be the right ones, and see that all unfold as the season goes. And this is beauty. This is quite an interesting space. You basically one-on-one relationship, isn't it, with the coach and referee, which is a little bit different to the space I normally work in, which is generally got a team, people that are trying to connect at the individual level. So it's quite the intimate relationship you have, and we're all on track. I think it's the reality now is how we see it happening. So we'll have a little bit of we're going to sort of park it there because we're going to come back to that stuff later, and then on Saturday when we're out there live, we'll be seeing it in action, so that'll be cool. What we're going to go to now is this come out a little bit, and you guys must be all over that grow model, which is wicked, so we probably have to accelerate that part of the night. We're going to do a little bit of an activity around why we question and why we tell. So telling versus questioning. So just need to clear the space, because this is where we test the trust levels in the room, and you'll see why soon, and you'll see how brave we are. We'll put ourselves into a little uncomfortable space here. Some will be very comfortable, some will be uncomfortable. What we need to do is to find a space here, so stand up, find a space and face towards the TV. I'm going to teach you something.
You were over here, Phil. This is where you would.
How many more beers do we need?
Well,
I don't know whether I've got a relationship with these guys yet.
yeah, that's right.
You can be arranged it.
I'm just going to teach you a basic line dance, okay? And then later, you're going to do some coaching around it. So what we do is we go do a break one to the right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and then we clap. 1, 2, 3. Okay, from the beginning. Ready? 5, 6, 7. Reggae beat, nice and slow. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we go back in our right foot. 1, tap, forward, tap and clap at the same time. Ooh. Multi-tap. Back. Tap, forward, back, tap, and then we swing our leg, and now we end up facing that way, we're back into the great body. Alright. So let's try that again, ready? This side. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and back tap. 1, 2, back, tap. 1, and slide, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and back. 1, 10, 2, back, and slide, face back now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Back, tap, forward, back, and slide, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Back, tap, forward, back, and slide. Okay, very good. We've learned that. Okay, so what's going to happen is I want you to just find a a partner? Find a partner? Who did? Well, actually, we did it. No, I'll give you one more. Give you one more go. Yeah, find a partner. Find a partner.
I'm not even. That's good. You up there.
Okay.
You get it, because I did. So we give the second one.
Okay, we just put us to music now. So we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, and then back to forward, back, and slide. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, back, 10, forward, back, and slide. And back, yeah. Watch Grant. Watch Grant. Hey, no, watch Grant. And face the slide. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Back, 10, forward, back, and water. Actually, what you need to do is come for the next McLean. Well, only a couple of people doing this year on and we'll get you in the dance floor doing that if you want. That's just
What goes on tour stays on tour.
What we're going to do is we're going to do some coaching. We're going to do some coaching. We're going to coach each other to get this line dance right. So you got a partner? Yeah. Partner, ready?
John, I
have a partner.
Right.
Okay.
Shall I take a seat?
So, just number yourself. 1's come up to me. 2 stay where you are.
I'll be 2.
One's out here. Okay. So what you guys find a space.
Which is my left and which is my right again?
You do, mate. Whoever's going to the back. Okay.
Sorry,
John Tremonta's out of here.
Okay, so you guys are going to demonstrate. These are your coaches. They come to observe you in practice in your performance space. They're going to watch you and at the end they're going to help you get better.
Really?
just for me.
Don't worry, if it's not, haven't nailed it, don't worry if you haven't nailed it. Okay, that's not the point. The point is
We'll help you.
they're going to help you. They're just so we can get a ref, you know, your panel 16 or whatever you want. Alright. Okay. Is he going to count you up?
Here we go.
5, 6, 7, 8. What's your athlete? Yeah. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Back. Back. And to the back. Here you go. 1, 2, 3. Back. Keep going. Back. And slide to slide in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Back. 10. Forward. Back. Okay, wait. Okay. Coach, find your athlete. Don't worry, you're going to switch it soon. Don't worry, you're going to switch it soon. Go find your athlete and give them the first section
One in the middle. But it looked really good though.
Well done, coaches. Okay, players, athletes, referees, we do the athletes out there. Tell us about the feedback they just gave you. Or that word's come up once, eh?
It's not music encouragement.
Yeah. Okay, how did they help you get better? What are they doing?
Listen to the music.
They told you to listen to the music?
Yeah.
Cool.
And count 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh yeah, he was giving you those tips. Cool.
Yeah, tell me the difference between right and left.
Cool, what else?
It's better singer than dancer.
Don't give up your day job.
So basically, we got that group of coaches that said give you feedback, tell you, give it to you between your eyes, whatever. Honest, comforting, supportive, but just tell you. How confident are you now to go and do it? Will you nail it now?
No way.
No way.
Let's have a check.
Next week. Oh, really?
Let's have a look.
Do they feel more under pressure because we told them that they've got to get next time right?
Yeah. So you told them you left it right.
I know my reality.
You told them 5, 6, 7, 8, hold the count. Are you confident you can do that? Okay, we're over here. Okay, very good. Switch roles, switch roles. New coach, come with me.
Right, there's trouble, Grant.
So,
And do it as bad as you can.
You're going to run out of room. You're going to run out of room.
Some sideways.
Doesn't matter if you start in the middle or you start at the back.
I'm not sure why you're videoing that, because what stays in here should stay in here.
Still images.
Oh, it is this? Okay. No social media, eh?
It's for a rainy day, right?
how you think you can? Yeah, ready to go. Should we go same song? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now that we've learned this one.
Ready?
You want some help? We must work.
Yeah.
Athletes, what approach, how did your coaches help you to get better? Sorry.
Made me think, and I had to come up with what was working and perhaps what was not.
Yep.
So I did most of the talking.
Yeah, cool.
Reassurance.
Yeah.
A little bit of encouragement and just the reality that, my timing is poor.
Yeah, who came up with that reality?
Oh, I knew that before I started, so.
But
you had fun, but still had fun.
Okay, so the last coaches you would tell us, what do these coaches do?
Ask questions.
Okay.
And we had to answer it.
Yeah.
And I liked the way I was challenged. If I did it again, what would I try to do? So that was a good challenge.
Yes,
Yeah.
the room. Leave the room. Oh, you've done well, yeah.
So the first time that they were just talking to us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I see it now,
Yeah. Okay, so the coaches there are tasked to go and coach through questions. Just ask questions. I think probably a lot of you fell into the GROW model. How does it feel being an athlete in that approach? Like, you think you'd be able to go and implement some change there in your dancing?
I'm taking it up as a career.
Yes, what would you do for your next time, Pat? You pretty much nailed all those, so.
I would stop watching the person beside me who threw me off.
That's the next week on, but
I think just shows that some people like Pat and someone against myself is that one's better than the other and one's got to work harder to get up to that next level.
Yeah.
I think the phrase that's coined over here, you're not lonely enough.
Did you feel the pressure?
There were some that were leaders, like Grant was probably more coordinated than the rest of them.
Yeah.
But I'm sees Doug before you can see that.
Oh, an achy break you have from waiting.
At the Sids Club will get me.
So, in essence, what the coach was trying to do is empower the athlete here to come up with a solution. And the rationale is, if I have the continuum here, and the research will show you, if you just tell people, they're like to retain and implement less than 10% of what you said, okay? If you go to more of a questioning approach, it's more like 30 to 40%. So through that process, it's more likely they'll implement 30 to 40% of what they come up with. Right down the other end of the spectrum is, if you teach others, you retain and learn even more. But that's real quick. You can give it to them, boom, done, go in the car, going home, to the pub on the way, so you pretend that you're out later, help the referee. Down to this bit takes a little bit longer, but the learning's a lot deeper and a lot more empowerment. So that's where we're sort of heading tonight, around that conversation, how we empower the other person, how we give feedback, and we're going to look through how we start the questioning approach. Okay, come back to that stuff you were just talking about before, which was what we actually do, interested in them, we understand what level they're at, what they want to get out of it, what do you want me to look at, all that kind of stuff. And then with the feedback goes at the end is, okay, how'd that go, match it up, tick that box, are you watching the right thing, etc. And then put it equal. Any comments on that?
I think it's important, especially as the referee goes up the ladder. After the game, you invariably speak to the referee as he's coming off the field, and you may be in the change room, and quite often you're creating that vibe, and you ask them a question. And the question would be something like, what could you have done differently to not use the yellow card? And then you say, do not reply. Because their first instinct is defensive. So what I say is, I don't want to hear your answer until we're inside and do the aftermatch. Now I've left it to do his thing. Now he can think about, and he always comes up with the right answer.
Or an answer. Yes, you're right. Yeah, we're going to unpack this a little bit more soon. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that? Or on that questioning part?
If I was honest, and is there a camera on? You can turn it off for this comment. If I was honest,
And I'm sure everyone, a lot of referees, the current referees will do the same, is that there's more time. We've got more time to talk to somebody. And that's been a real benefit over the past few years for a lot of referees out there. Just how we communicate sometimes. Because no one's equally the same, and because we're all different and we all respond differently. Sometimes the first model might be best for the referee. The next model might be better for the referee. While you can understand what, and it comes back to that supportive nature that we're on the question there. Putting the relationship first, do what deals best from individuals.
Reece made a good observation before. When I first started at Bay Rugby, I was a secondary school manager. I just come back from overseas, ex-school teacher, and he just told me before that I came to very relaxed when he was coaching, and I gave him like 5 things he should be doing. At the same time, just when I was at high performance, and I was working in the academy space. And at the same time as I was doing that, I went to the coach educator program, and we learned the whole. It took me about 3 days to understand what a coach educator does, and talk about this questioning stuff and facilitation skills. Anyway, at the same time, the first year I was in the academy, guys, I would do their clips of their game. I would sit down and do a review with them, and I would show them all the clips on the game. This, and this. And then I go watch them next week, and they're still doing the same kind of stuff. Like, oh, show them the same clips. You've got to do this. Next week, same stuff. Went to the educator course and understand the power of questioning and empowering your players. All right, you guys, you come to me with your clips. You come to me, you show me what you think, when you ran your goals, what you did well, any couple of areas you want to work on. 90%, I'll do the same, I'll look at it, 90% of the time it'll match up. 90%, and I didn't have to, and what difference is, they're empowered, they're doing all the talking, they're doing the learning, they're thinking about their own game, and then we saw way better change in the game, far improved, so just that whole element. Same thing in this space, what we'll do then, team, is we'll just sort of like drift this conversation into dinner. I think it's served, so I think we'll have a little half-time break there. And the rest of us will be athletes. And I'm going to give you a game, and you'll play the game, and the two people are going to ref the game. So they'll be ref hats on, and then the referee coach will coach the referee. Okay, so you might think about what does it look like before the game, you have a conversation before it, what are you doing during the game, and what are you doing after the game, so pre, during and after. The referee coach will then at the end go through a feedback process. I'm not going to say any more than that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to play the game, then at the end one referee and referee coach will go over here and they'll have a conversation about the game, about their performance. The other half will go over here. Cam and I will sort of observe that, and we'll just get the learning around the conversation part. That's the key part. Not about how the game went. It's the relational stuff that support a relationship. You know, the questions used. What it looked like before. Did you build a good relationship with the referee, etc. And we'll unpack that, and then we'll do a different game, and we'll change roles. So we just get a bit of practice here, and then obviously on Saturday we'll talk about that later on. But does that sound to be good, mate? All right. So should we start with Steve and Peter? Are you guys happy to be the first coaches, referee coaches? Yeah. So come on here. You just turn up. And just need 2 referees for this game. Doesn't matter who.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Jono and Jono and Grant, you're the refs. Okay. So I'll have to get the game going just to get it started. So the first game is, let me just set this up, is we're going to do a rugby ball relay. If anyone knows, not cueless coaching is the key. But this one's going to have a couple of lines of people. So I need teams pairs. One pair here, behind the ball, facing that way. Another pair there. So up you get team. Get 2 more. And one pair here, one pair here. There's 4 teams competing. Okay, guys, what we'll do is we've got a chair here. Chair there. So you and I can do this, so just make this game. Alright, so it should be opposite a chair. So what you need to do, and I'm going to explain the game and then the referee's going to take over. Actually, I'll give you guys a couple of minutes with your referee if there's anything you want to do beforehand. Sorry. Pre-game.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
We're going to do a chant first before we start. I mean, most teams do a chant these days before they start.
Did you say we can play by the rules?
I've not. Good. What's the referee language?
Yes, exactly. Always like break the rules.
Yeah, no. That's right.
Yeah, sometimes if like things like you can move the line on, if I can call it at the moment, plus there's all over.
Okay, all good? So key thing is, what I'll do different next time is I'll make sure that we can all hear that conversation, so I muck that up a bit.
Still go.
Cool, so Pete's done a great job unpacking, Steve did a great job unpacking what the referee is trying to work on in this game. The game is, it's a relay, you've got to go around the chair and back, but not only use your hands to move the ball, and the ball's not allowed to touch the ground.
Will I use your hands to pick the ball up right now?
Yeah, you can start. And then what you do is when you come back, you hand to your next partner. The referees, it's all over to you.
Play on, play that advantage here, cross forward.
Oh, Jesus!
Bit of contact, slow it down.
Once? How many times?
With the hands around arms.
How many times are we going to do this?
You refer. Handball there.
Hold it there, just, this is, talk about this before the game. Okay? None of that
Go,
stuff
Wally's
at
been
that point.
talked to, go.
Hey, there's another referee here.
Oh.
You're not allowed to hold the ball.
No, sorry. My coach, I asked for tips, he didn't give me.
He's holding the ball. Ref it then.
Okay, pause there. So we're getting the role players, so to be clear. If you're the ref, take control of the situation. If you see them cheating, ping it. We'll do what you need to do. Or whatever you work on, sorry. Okay, just be clear. So I'll come back to them. I'll hand over to John A. or Grant, anything you want to get from your players here?
Hey guys, I just want to see a clean game today.
Like the last game, we're really like the same.
Okay, alright, we'll just see how we go from there.
Last 30 seconds. I'll hand over to you guys. Referee the game.
Coach Armstrong.
Listen, you no hands.
No hands, no hands.
Changing the rules.
Changing the rules.
Come on, Ref, how long are you going to put up with it? Here we go.
Okay, ready,
How are you going to get this out of here without using your hands?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a bit of sneaky going on, isn't there?
You couldn't see, could you? You couldn't see? You're in the wrong spot, wrong spot to see. In the way, Ref, that's right. The wrong spot to see.
excellent.
This is next.
Well done, keep up that good work.
Good time, well done, well done. Okay. So what we're doing now, you guys, we'll go listen into the conversation between coach and ref, and you guys go here, we'll just listen in, so grab chair, whatever you need to do to...
Poor old digestive system doesn't know whether to digest or
grab a chair and stuff and come and listen in, listen to the doing. So we're trying, well, we should have done that one before. Yeah. It's up to you, how'd you go? Alright. This is the key bit, guys. This is the key bit, the conversation part, to see if we can help the referee with his refereeing.
Very interesting game. So what do you think you could do differently?
I think I need to brush up on
Well, my goal was to full collected.
Which one?
all of them, I think.
How do you think the direction of the players went?
Pardon my French, I fucked it up. To be honest, it was actually my first go at that whatever game it was.
So what would you do if you had to start again?
I'd probably have some cards in my pocket. I'd probably use them.
It's going really well for you out there.
Well, that's a good question.
Do you reckon they all knew the rules?
I think the interaction initially when I came up and interacted with the individuals, the athletes here, and whatever the sport is, and yeah, I think I had some sort of compliance during the game a little bit, which was good. And it was really kind of autopilot from there on in, because it just went like the blur, just having so much fun.
Because one of your goals that you told me before the game was that you wanted
How do you think the players went overall?
to interact well with the players and so yeah, that was good. You
All right, Steve?
What was I going to say? Paul Grant, he didn't know what to do.
It was hard to maintain control. It was all over the place. I didn't feel confident.
Well, let's grab a seat, guys, and we'll just go over that combat.
Present.
So I'll do the same with Steve.
And I think I was a little bit all over the place. I had
a conversation
an athlete there coming to get the hell out of the way and all this, and that knocked my confidence quite a bit.
Because he was frustrated.
Those things that you saw were bad, do you think they were an
I think that was the problem. There was no clear guidance, no clear goals, what he was aiming for, or what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I could practice more on my position, how I get around.
What he was supposed to be doing.
make
video
things,
conversation,
try and
you talk
read
about some stuff at the start,
the players' movements perhaps.
Yeah, so looking forward, those are things that we take.
I think the problem was there was no
Learn something from today,
instructions
take it
before
to
the
the
game,
next
no talk with the team before the
next
game.
game.
So
Okay, I guess so, yeah, I suppose, yeah, okay.
Okay, so we'll really think of your role as the coach. You're trying to unpack learning ground or something like that.
I've got a coach educator head on, so I'm going to have a very similar conversation about Peter. So,
You got the coaches there?
yeah, I've got the coach educator. So you're the coach. You're the coach. And I'm the coach educator, so I've got like coach here. Yeah, so that's a conversation that we're having in that respect. Peter, thanks for having me along today. Really appreciate it. Firstly, tell me what were you trying to achieve with your conversation with Johnny today?
I think the main thing was that he obviously had some goals that he wanted to achieve in the game. And I just wanted to make sure that he felt a bit down, I thought, and I just wanted to encourage him and just give him a way forward to achieve those goals. He may not have achieved them today, but next week.
Okay, so just so I'm hearing you right, you picked up on the fact that he was feeling a bit down, and you just really wanted to build up the opportunities for him to grow for next time.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any pre-interaction with Jono at all, or have any idea of what he was trying to work on going into this game?
Yeah, I spoke to him before the game. I just asked him one question. I just asked him, what's the main goal for the game? We could all have 3 or 4 goals, but what was his main goal?
And do you think the conversation itself sort of built, actually tied us up to that goal, and he was able to work on that, or were you able to get anything extra out of it?
Yeah, I think we did talk at half time, as I said at the start. I did want him to talk about what that goal was, and I wanted to just encourage him that, yes, it may have not gone so well, but there was opportunities to improve.
I noticed that you said that that things went, there were some things in there that went really well. I think you gave us some positive reinforcement.
You made a comment that that's what you thought you needed, so...
What did you do then to actually, so you went specific to what that was. How did you, I guess, draw that out of him? What questions did you ask, or how did you go about that?
A couple of questions I asked him what went really well for him in the game, and also what went not so well in the game. And as a coach, you can learn a lot from those answers. And you can draw on those answers to expand and really drill down to help them out. At the end of the day, that's what we're here to do.
100%. Fully agree. Do you think that there's any opportunities that you might take differently next time if you were to have that same conversation with Jono, or a way that you would have shaped the conversation a bit differently?
Yeah. I mean, if I was Jono's personal coach, one-on-one, I think it would be different to say if I was just seeing referees casually from one week to another. But I think in the second week, if I was to talk to Jono, I would say to him, going into last week, this happened. What have you thought about your week that could change the situation so you get a better result?
Okay. So you actually tied to it like a previous experience, and then sort of get that building block. Okay. Cool. And just with your actual questioning with Jono, as you're going through it, tell me more about how you were listening to what he was saying and reacting to it. How are you able to weave that in the conversation?
Yeah, I think it's important that if you, those are the 2 questions when I ask for good points of the game and bad points. They lend themselves further to further questions. And you can base them obviously you base them on their response.
Do you think that his responses, you were able to, how were you, I guess, processing those? Were you sort of receiving those into your head and asking another question, or?
I tried to, I'm not,
relationship quite quickly.
So
what's working? Can you tell me more about that?
work on is actually listening.
Okay.
How do you know to do that?
As a coach, you need to listen to it. You may have something, a preconceived idea in your head, but you actually need to listen to your referee as to what they're saying to you.
Doesn't make the idea any less valid, though, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, you're right there.
But you're right. So one way that we could, in terms of actual listening, what's one thing that we could do perhaps that could really cement or hone in what you've heard from the referee? Is there anything that you could say back to the referee?
I guess you say,
don't know the rules or the tactics or
are
the
you comfortable
techniques.
with
So you're
what I've
purely
just
asking
said to you?
questions.
Is it
You're
you
full,
or is it you?
absolutely.
All information, you literally go blind, but if you know the script, you can listen to it.
It's something that I've, in the same conversation that I'm having with you, something that I've done a couple of times is just so I've heard you say the paraphrasing and that kind of thing. So exactly, you're hearing that back, so you're saying that one of those key things you want to work on is be able to actually listen and adapt to that.
Yes.
Cool, so we've got one thing that obviously goal for next week.
And also, because if you do paraphrase what the referee says, they actually think, oh, I'm actually going to listen to it. This guy's actually listening to it.
Are there any other benefits as well? What if you...
Other benefits, you're just on the same wavelength.
Exactly, because you may have misinterpreted what they've said as well. So if you're paraphrasing it back, exactly, same wavelength. Cool, thanks for that, really appreciate it.
Well done.
Yeah, I guess none of us had, I guess, any clue about what that game was, or I mean, the context was irrelevant. I guess what I was trying to work on, and I only really started thinking about this task when I got teed up for it about 10 minutes ago, was actually just trying to listen into what people were saying and try and pull out of one of those work-ons. I found it, I tripped over some of my own questioning a little bit, but what I was trying to get to was paraphrasing thing. That's the one thing I picked up. I made my mental note that there wasn't a lot of paraphrasing, and I guess in what Peter was saying. However, it was really good coaching, really good questions. You made it feel comfortable. You got to work on. We move through that growth process really, really nicely. And so I guess the one thing that I picked up on was, okay, paraphrasing is probably what to work on, but I just didn't want to go out and say, you need to paraphrase. So I was trying to find a way, I guess, to weave it in the conversation. I don't think I did that very well. But
Do they come up with what you would have told them?
And so I was trying to, I guess, at least try to set up to model it back to you. What I heard you say was X, Y, and Z. So at least when I eventually got there, that I had something to stand on as well. It's like, what I've done, and I guess we can model that too.
Okay, we need two new referee coaches. Two new refs, please.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Doesn't matter. You can keep that. Two new refs. I'm going to brief you up on the next game properly. Two refs. Doesn't matter who. Okay, Jan. And Nico, awesome. You come and be a ref, mate.
Hi, Nico.
Do you know Nico? Okay, so we need four same thing, two Piers behind the chair, behind them, same thing, two corners this time, playing the old Rob the Nest game. And we've got Pierre there, we've got a chair in the corner here. So we need to be more involved in this, and we need two referee coaches, which are, where's my sheet? Gasper and Ian, no? You guys want to go? Referee coach?
Jeff is already already to play. He wants to try to play.
So Ian,
Especially disappointed.
you went with Nico, yep. Gasper, you went with Jan. And we've got a pair there.
We've got balls in our nest.
That's the idea.
Well, two coaches as well.
You got to get balls in your nest.
One's with me, quite
Yeah, you go over here. Okay, so what we do, guys, said it last time, when you're listening to the conversation, so maybe just come over here. Just ignore that for now, we're going to play it soon. First things first, they're going to establish, this is what we're talking about, we need to establish what the referee is trying to work on. So just listen to the conversation, see what we can pick up.
I want to be
What is your game plan? What have you done?
my decision making and make quick decisions.
Small first game in this break. The referee doesn't either of those teams or players.
Okay.
So setting standard of work.
Okay.
Where'd you pick up there?
I'm matching the teams for players. Match teams.
So she got that.
So match the
What have we got? So work on here, so
keep them on speed.
Yeah, we're in sync.
And you're looking forward to it?
hopefully the feedback will answer what she said.
That's right. You're assuming I've got a memory.
I'm hoping it's not.
Get your photos and give the feedback.
Make sure she gains respect.
Well, I'm here to watch you. I'm here to quick decisions.
Makes a decision. Yeah, concise.
I'm here to support you. Quick decisions.
That was you.
There's no breakdowns in this game.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want to explain the game, Jen?
Yeah, I know that.
Yes, it's called Rob the Nest. Alright, so you're in pairs, so only one person can run at a time. You go and rob one ball at a time from somebody else's nest and place it back on your chair, and you tag your other person in to rob. Okay, at the end of the time, how long have we got?
16 minutes.
16.
How long do you want? Like 30?
30 seconds.
No, take a minute so you can do
A minute?
something.
Okay, at the end, time will be called, and the winners will be the ones that had the most balls in their chair.
Is the extra time?
No.
Guarantee you, as soon as you go there, he'll come here.
Okay, timekeeper?
Take photos and watch it.
Timekeeper,
Any
you
protection?
Yeah.
We need someone else here.
Oh, you want
Oh,
second.
Graham's speedy, I was they're really.
You can just keep going.
That's why I'm happy.
Okay, I'm ready with you, Archie. Over to the refs.
On your marks, get set, go!
One at a time.
One at a time. You got one at a time.
Sorry, hey, stop. Put them down. Back. Put them all back. Put them all back. Tag your partner. Tag your partner.
Three! Oh!
Stop.
Did you tag?
Alright.
Did you
Stop.
tag?
Pause
Did
down.
you tag?
Pause down, please. Pause down.
Hey, look over there, Ref. Look over there. Why are you watching, Ref?
One at a time. One at a time.
No!
Tag your
Don't fight
partner.
balls, get them, have them if they need them.
Chair down. Chair down. Chair down.
Consistency, Ref.
One at a time.
Consistency.
One at a time.
Consistency. Man, what
Okay.
Throw my balls away, Ref.
Show the clean tag.
I want them.
Go around, not through.
Hands off. Don't push. No, back.
Who's waiting for you here?
Nobody.
Open the front. Somebody needs time. This please disqualified. Disqualified.
And private 30 seconds.
Yes, they disqualified.
That's half time, referee, you can carry on, you can intervene, do what you need to do.
It's all about winning, eh?
Still, it's half time in the game, what would you do?
Okay, captains, come in here, please. One of the captains.
Captain.
Okay,
Captain.
we'll lay down some
Now, look,
rules. No, excuse me.
Wait,
No, I'm just laying down the rules.
Good game, good game.
So,
Good battle
you
ship.
must have someone running at all times. You must have someone running at all times.
Right,
And I'll
I need to
tick
see.
the list.
Clear up.
Right, so you guys are now back
Hands
in
on
the
your
game.
yes.
You're
in there, touch. Clear tag. One goes at a time. Right. Pick the ball up, put it down. Tag. Clear and obvious.
Some
Right,
consistency.
in
where
two
people
balls
palms
each.
up people's balls.
Play with your own ball. Clean up this breakdown. We won't start the game until you have a nice clear end zone, alright?
Come on, Rick, there's more than one team on the field, Rick. Come on.
Bring it through. It's only half time.
Two balls each.
Oh, only half time.
Oh, look over there.
Right, consistency. Please, referees.
Consistency starts with
Two balls each.
Okay, sorry, sir.
So at half time, all the scores get leveled off.
Yep.
You didn't mention it in the pre-game, Rick.
Where's this ball? At some stage he's got to run, otherwise they're disqualified again.
Oh, again?
Only my ask consent, go!
Oh, you go. One at a time. Pull them down. Pull them down.
You're not
Motion taken. All score. One at a time. Place it first. Right. Hey, stop, you stay. No, one at a time. One at a time.
Cheated! No tagging, look!
One at a time.
Harry, run, throw.
Placing balls.
Give this one go here.
Leave us.
Oh, one at a time.
Yeah, one at a time. I gave him one, I gave him the other one. I gave him one at a time.
Behind the seat.
Time. Hey, ref,
We have got 3 here and 3 here.
we have a tie.
We have a tie.
Who had 4 last time?
All right, let's go do the other. All right, so back into our groups. We're going to do the aftermatch with the refs. Going to come and grab a chair. We can listen to this.
Cue. But
This will be
I
interesting.
wasn't playing that one. Exhilarated.
All the new friends you've made.
I think I made a few enemies too.
What do you think that
So coach conversation with referee.
considering the points we discussed?
Okay, so I was working on being firm,
Yes,
being clear, gaining respect from them,
yes.
and I think you mentioned that I should be in the right place to make the right calls.
Yes. That's true. And what did you think you achieved that in the first game, or did you improve in the second game?
I think I improved because I changed my position.
You did.
I'd say probably out of 5, I was a 3 on the first one. I think I got up to about 4 on the second one. I was much better. They did listen to me.
I agree with that. I felt that on the first game that you could have been a little firmer because you had a certain person in this group arguing with you,
Yes.
and you did really. Would you handle that again? You have a team member arguing with you.
Well, I think I handled it at the half-time break by saying, no arguing, I'm going to do the talking. Yeah, so I learned from that.
Well, I think, I'd rather been in the game running around.
I don't know.
Much more fun. Yeah. But overall, you are happy that the goals you set?
Yes, I did. Is there something I can work on for next time?
Don't deal with these guys. They're all cheats.
We need to take up a different sport.
Curling.
I was being deliberately disrespectful. Do you get that in the net?
No.
Really got time for that.
You can get it during the game from the players on court or the sideline because we stand so close to the court. But most people are pretty good. Certainly at ANZ level you don't get any of that. Yeah.
So in your sport, there seems to be a lot more body contact. These ladies are sort of turning into all in wrestling.
Well, generally they're a lot stronger than they used to be,
Yeah,
so we still look for interference,
yes.
but there's no such thing as non-touching. Back in my day, you know, you couldn't even breathe on the next person.
And so the player,
sorry, onto the rule list. What we're really here for is,
we'll have an opportunity, we watch all these games, we've got an opportunity to have an expert amongst us, and so we can quickly
touch on the purpose around putting a supportive relationship, get through, and then the conversation at the end did pretty well. Your conversation was good. You remember how you started your conversation?
no.
The first question you asked?
Honestly, can't.
How did you feel?
How did you feel?
Yeah.
Great question.
Nice soft way to start the conversation. And then often, when you ask that question, depending on the person, they might give you an answer about that.
Well, it sets you up for the next part of your coaching. Because they feel rotten, well, straight away you now got to get into the empathy, and why do you feel rotten? What do you think that happened that made you feel that way?
And you get to know exactly how they are feeling and what direction you might want to go with your
Because
conversation.
the very first thing you've got to establish how that guy's thinking. Otherwise you can't help it.
Yeah. And straight away you went to, you connected back to Jan's points that she was trying to, she pulled it back to you, said, you think you achieved the points that we've discussed earlier. Glad that she could remember them all, eh? And you have to remember them. As I said, yes, I was working on my firm level, and then you said, do you think you achieved that? Great, so what you've done is you've established her goal, and you go into the reality of how she went. So you've got to check. She actually used the criteria, which was a 3 out of 5 to a 4 out of 5. That's a really good technique to use.
I use it
How do you
quite
feel out of 5?
often. If they can't think about something, I'll say, out of 5, where do you think you want to be at a 5 to be perfect? Where do you think you fell in that game?
Yes.
It's a very accurate scale, 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. When you analyse it, people invariably have a much clearer idea where they're at than where you may think they're at.
It's good. It's a good place to start a conversation. Oh, 3 out of 5. Okay, why are you 3 out of 5? Okay. What would help to get you to a 4 out of 4?
Yeah.
Make a little incremental change.
Does anyone actually say about 5 out of 5?
I've not met anyone, but I'm sure that someone might sometime. I don't know. Yeah. But I always say to them, if they say 5 out of 5, okay, so are you a great 5 or you're at the bottom end of the 5? What will make that a little bit of difference to make... I don't know,
You find a continuum within a continuum.
Yeah.
And I'm a grade 5, so you're a grade 5. A grade 5 or just oh, grade, oh shit.
No, I haven't used it, but
Like Richie McCaw said, I want to be an All Black, and his uncle said, right down, you want to be a great All Black.
Now the last question you said, do you remember the last question? Report you used?
Was there anything that you guys...
Oh, it wasn't a question actually, it was an observation he made.
About overall.
Sorry, he was closing point. Good point. Remember the observation you made about his thoughts on the refereeing?
Oh, about being family.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that comment? He's seen something as his personal opinion is I thought you could have been fair.
I believe it's okay to
What are your
ask
thoughts?
provided that we've identified bad things already.
Could you reframe it in a different way? So I saw you, or I observed you being on a scale of 1 to 5 in terms of firmness, about a 3. And you,
Well, you could say...
so my observation was you were only a 3 out of 5 in terms of firmness when one of your goals was to be firmer. How could you have dealt with that so that it was a 4 or a 5 out of 5 to firmness, rather than just saying I finish?
Okay, so rather than giving the scale, giving your opinion, what else do you do? Yeah, so what's a question we can ask?
going to
Tell
say,
me about
use that Ted's pie
why
questions.
you
So
started.
tell me, so you've already been to Ted's pie?
Question, right? How you-
Okay, so Ted is tell me, explain to me, describe for me, so that the starters questions are quite helpful to people who want to use a different starter. So tell me about your firmness when you dealt with the person who was arguing with you. So get me to talk about it.
And so it's pretty related to what he shared with you.
Tell me, explain.
So Ted says, tell me, explain to me, describe for me.
What's the pies?
I don't just use pies because they're words that I don't use.
Oh, okay. Oh, are they swear words?
No, they're not words that I would use in a question. What I think they are. Precisely tell me about something. It's not something I use. Yeah.
We'll go back to that. So then, so I just think there's an opportunity because in her, what she wanted was assurance that the firm essentially used the word. Okay, so how firm were you on observation? I saw that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
As opposed to
exactly what I saw, you guys are saying.
Yeah. It's subjective, it's objective, so
where do you go?
I know your thoughts are, mate. I felt you weren't firm enough. Is that accurate or what? We start only
How do you feel that question is not evidence-based? Dealing with it might still be
flowing and does play with the fight
differently. More subjective.
But how did I get there? Was in that little example was trying to keep pulling.
Can you explain to me what?
Yeah.
I think it just reinforces it.
That's how we start.
explain that. Cool. Yes, understand the reality. I was having trouble with it. Cool. Anyway, any other ways you can doubt it? The opportunity moving forward. Cool. And then the points of good unrest. Okay, so we've had some good discussions. What's something you're going to do?
I guess.
What's something? An example there where there was an argument could have been
was saying some things around he wanted to extend this. I guess my question to you is
conversation.
how
Tell me what happened. How would
when you were saying
something happen
these
then?
things, what
Absolutely.
And I think it's always good to pick out one or two examples that the referee will remember from the game that will talk to the point of what they're working on.
Yeah.
You know, particularly if it's towards the end of the game, so they will remember those things. Tell me about the incident that happened with the whatever.
And
there's been no advantage to it.
That can then start another part of the conversation of that thing you're working on.
Yeah, it's all good and nice being a thing like this.
It's not a really
We're all out about comfort zones here, right?
It's a really challenging skill, mate.
But should the content of the game,
It's really
where we're saying, should
exciting
that,
part of the role.
should that
It's drive home for the action.
impair our interaction?
I talk too much or shit. Too much.
Yeah. Was whatever this
I
one
think,
was rather than that, right?
Yes.
So I think that
changes the whole.
our referees can
But
bring
we're no different to the referees, are we really? We should be reflecting afterwards
Oh,
about,
100%.
I do keep a journal and reflect on my conversations, particularly the tough ones.
Yeah.
I think, oh, that didn't go so well, it wasn't, could I have done something different?
Okay, cool. Tell me more about
I think
how you were being steered or, what could you do? Was it my second way of being steered?
Why am I still
Yeah, exactly.
Am I talking
But
too much?
I guess having those building questions, those continuous open questions where you're not getting it, you're not posing it for a single response or taking different tack.
I'm not saying what about that.
Yeah, interesting. Another thing is, I guess,
What was that?
yeah, like,
In my days,
we couldn't do that, it's really useful.
Well,
Yeah, it comes to relationships between you and the ref, and you and the coach. So I had
time and place for
quite a
those
few of these, and
specific
there's
things.
one guy I've got a pretty good relationship with for a long period of time, but he was training with the night, and it was
So we might say,
bad
like,
shit, boring out. So,
we might
This
put
is
it through
so
say, maybe put a
What
hotel away and
is
say
it?
like,
and I was trying to question him,
times when X, Y, and Z happened, maybe
and then I had to
take
say,
a game, watch a video,
Hey, bro, that was so boring.
No, look, well, you know, let's
Here's a question for the group, like, if you see something that stood out in the game,
and then he think, you know,
or was it something you noticed of that
he was trying to coach
referees,
things up. It wasn't him.
how would you go about
It
bringing
was a good turning point. But
within the
pushing
conversation?
it,
Any
the
thoughts
balance
around
of
that?
when someone will say,
You know, you can get interaction,
when you
but
stop
let's
people
say
taking
it
the
was,
jabs,
I
you
don't know,
know,
100 whatever.
Yeah.
that's the art of the thing.
It has to come after
Yeah,
you've got a
it's
strong
relationship.
relationship.
Yeah, that goes for the punch to the face straight away.
Any thoughts on that?
I wouldn't be afraid of it.
How would you address that?
Yeah.
No, good
Yeah,
work. Well,
yeah, for example.
Well, I got this was 10, it was 10 before.
Yeah.
What goes with
Tell me, explain
The
it.
girls game,
Yeah.
say 10
And
from
then I think yes, there's summarise for me.
Yeah.
So at the end you could say, so summarise what we've just talked about that you're going to take away. Yes.
Okay, guys, what we're going to do, just going to wrap this up tonight with a little reflection. And we've gone on a bit of a journey. We won't do any more practical things and worry about blood bins and things that, you know, time is valuable. What I'm going to do is, if you just find a space with a partner, to start with, can you just do that? Oh, do you want to leave or do you want to play? Partner. Okay, so if you want to sign up for one of my online programs, I have one of these modules.
Oh!
What you're going to do with your partner is you're going to do a reflection piece on tonight. So you're going to go for those goal, reality, ops, what now? So on tonight we've looked at, we started with some understanding what the role, what we do, why we have referee coaches, what we actually do with them. Talked about bringing the coach the story, but we then looked at, went deeper into what does a supportive relationship look like. We